Welcome to Welcome to Athol Highlanders Workshop, Lesson 1. Okay, Lesson 1, we're going to start off a lot slower and a lot simpler. We're going to start off on E, so our ring finger is up on the top hand, and if you want to get sheet music and access to all the lessons, just click on the link below. But without any further ado, we're on the E, so our ring finger is up on the top hand, pinky finger is up on the bottom hand. We're going to do a big fat G grace note here, followed by a doubling. If you're not doing embellishments at all, you'll just do one G grace note to separate those two E's. So if you're not doing any embellishments, one grace note on the E to separate the two E's, then down to C, and by dropping the ring finger and the pinky finger at the same time, and then that C is quite short, and then we're boom dropping down to low A by dropping down those middle two fingers and lifting up that pinky finger. With embellishments, we have a doubling. So we have, after our grace note on the first E, our second E starts with a doubling. Top finger again for that G grace note, and then middle finger for that second grace note in the doubling. So we have two embellishments on that E. And then we go from E down to C, no embellishment there, but from that C down to low A, we're going to do a D grace note. So a D grace note is top finger of the bottom hand. So that top finger has to lift. We go down to that C position and the top finger comes down last. If you're getting a crossing noise there, probably that top finger isn't lifting quite soon enough before those other fingers are coming down, or it's actually not. It's coming back on the hole before those other fingers are finishing the movement. It's very normal for that D grace note to be a bit more of a challenge. Our G grace note gets a lot of practice early on, so if you're struggling with that, just pause the video. I'll be here when you come back. So let's talk about timing, because we're going to repeat this phrase a whole bunch throughout the first two bars. So timing, it's a 6/8 time signature. So that means we have 6 beats in every bar, and the 8th note gets the beat. So you can tap your foot 6 times, throughout each bar, or else you can just do the major downbeats. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can just tap your foot twice to those 2 major downbeats. That just simplifies it a bit. So if we're doing that, our 2 major downbeats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our first downbeat is on that first E. If you're doing embellishments, that's where that G grace note is. We'll talk about the pickup notes in lesson 2, so don't worry about those pickup notes just yet. So our G grace note is that downbeat. Maybe I'll just bring the camera down so you can see my fingers still. And then our second downbeat is that E. That E doubling, I should say. And then our third beat is now going to be the first beat of the next bar. It's on that same E doubling. So we're just going to repeat that phrase. So we're repeating that phrase, but this time without the first E. So in this first bar, we have that first E, that's for a whole beat, and then we have the E doubling, the quick C, the low A, and then back on the E for that next beat. And then we just repeat that E doubling, C, low A. So that's where those two main downbeats fall. And I think that's the simplest way to do it rather than doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just think just tap those main downbeats, and then that'll help you out with the timing. So and even go to the workshop link below, print out that sheet music or get it on whatever screen that you can circle or draw on the paper. Draw those downbeats, highlight them, and that'll really help you out for the timing with learning this tune. And that C is quite short, so it's got a little dash. Whereas the E with the doubling has a little dot. That E is a little bit longer. The C is a little bit shorter. And then that low A is not too long either, because we have to get back onto the next E for that next downbeat. So hopefully that makes sense. And I played through it a few times with embellishments. With the embellishments. Let me just do without the embellishments so you can hear that. So here's the non-embellished version. And I can even take out that grace note on that second bar, the E of the second bar. So that's the non-embellished version. You just have one G grace note on the E to separate the first two E's in that first bar. And here's once more the embellished version. And can't wait to see you in lesson 2. This is our lesson 2 for this super fun tune. It's a really, really enjoyable tune. It can be played nice and slow, but it is a fun one to speed up as well. But no rush on speeding it up. Take your time with this. And until next time, happy piping.